بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعد أما بعد. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا يأتل أولو الفضل منكم والسعة أن يؤتوا أولي القربى والمساكين والمهاجرين في سبيل الله وليعفوا وليصفحوا ألا تحبون أن يغفر الله لكم والله غفور رحيم. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الأمي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. Dear respected brothers, elders, young friends, one quality Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself mentions is a cause of honor and respect. Yet we feel that particular quality to be against our own honor and respect. We think of it as a shame upon us. Yet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam promises that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants honor to such an individual is the quality of forgiveness. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam states, مَا زَادَ اللَّهُ عَبْدًا بِأَفْوٍ إِلَّا عِزًّا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases an individual in respect, in honor, due to him forgiving. When a person forgives, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevates this individual in the eyes of the people. Now, if a person thinks that I've done something wrong, and I need to ask for forgiveness, or somebody has wronged me and he's asking for forgiveness, then in both situations, that individual will think that particular act of either asking for forgiveness or forgiving against his own honor. I've done wrong, I've violated that person's right, I know I shouldn't have done it, but it's embarrassing. How can I go to him now? How can I ask for his forgiveness? How can I tell him that I'm sorry, what I did was wrong, I apologize, I won't do it again, and unfortunately it was a mistake on my behalf? I can't do that. What will people think of me? What will he think of me? How will people look at me? Or similarly on the other side, that somebody has come to you for forgiveness, I'm not going to forgive him. No, why should I forgive you for? Do you not know what you actually did? You didn't just hurt my feelings. No, he embarrassed me in front of everybody and now he's come ask for forgiveness and apologize, and now he just expects me to just forget about it and just look over it, overlook the matter. It's not going to happen. It's against my own honor, it's against my own dignity, it's against my own self-respect. It's not going to happen. And unfortunately, this is the situation many of us find ourselves in. Whether it's with our own family, whether it's with friends, whether it's with the wider community, unfortunately we find ourselves in this situation many a times. And if we take this step of forgiving, or whether it's asking for forgiveness or forgiving the other individual, then our society will become a very harmonious society. Majority of the disputes start off small. Majority of the issues are tiny. But unfortunately, both parties think of it against their own nature, that why should I go out? It was him that was wrong, it wasn't me. Either they don't accept their mistake, or if they do accept their mistake, then still I can't ask for forgiveness. Majority of the time we don't even accept our mistakes. We cannot see that, no, the fault is on my side. I did the wrong. I violated his right. I shouldn't have said to him what I said. I shouldn't have done to him what I did. And unfortunately, sometimes it is completely trivial as well. Sometimes it's completely trivial. And it's nothing even major. That, for example, something trivial like, oh, he didn't invite me to his walima. He didn't give me a dawat. You invited. Sometimes we feel that no, small insignificant things. He didn't invite me to his walima. He didn't invite me to his walima. Why should I do? No, we don't even look at each other. No salam, no kalam, nothing. And in small little issues, unfortunately, become bigger issues. And they become bigger issues, and then we cannot even see one another in the same light. We need to understand that sometimes it's just either su'u dhan. Sometimes it's su'u dhan. Sometimes it's just a misconception. And we think that something's happened, whereas nothing's happened. Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Sayyidina Abu Umar radiyallahu ta'ala, if I recall correctly, after the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, obviously the Sahaba Kiram radiyallahu ta'ala anhum were overcome by emotions. They were all hurt. They were all experiencing the absence of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The absence of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was a very, very great thing in their life. It was as if a chunk of their life has been taken away from them. The Sahaba Kiram radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, they would say that whenever we would feel upset, whenever we would feel emotional, then seeing the face of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would make us forget our worries and our concerns. Such was the appearance of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Sayyidina Bara ibn Azib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu states that مَا رَأَيْتُ أَحْسَنَ فِي حُلَّةٍ حَمْرَاءٍ مِنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. He says that I have never seen somebody more beautiful than Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He says once, في ليلة إضحيان رأيت القمر والله كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أجمل من هذا. That I saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on a clear night. The sun was, the moon was there in its full glory, radiating the entire night. I looked at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I looked at the moon. I looked at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I looked at the moon. And I came to this conclusion that wallahi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is more beautiful and radiant than even the moon. Sayyidina Anas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu states that very day which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered Medina Munawwara, that day was the most radiant, most blessed, most luminous day in Medina Munawwara. And that very day which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, that day was the most gloomy and the most solemn day in Medina Munawwara. He says that we had just buried Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We had come back. Sayyidina Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala anha even said that how could your hearts even tolerate the fact that you sent Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam down into the ground? How is this possible? How is this possible? سبت علي مصائب لو أنها سبت على الأيام لسرن لياليا ماذا على من شم تربة أحمد ألا يشم مدى الزمان الغواليا. He says that person who has smelt the blessed earth and soil of the blessed grave of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he does not need to smell any other fragrance because the greatest fragrance is there. But at the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, سبت علي مصائب لو أنها سبت على الأيام لسرنا اللياليا, that we have been overcome with such affliction, such a musibah, such a difficulty, that is this difficulty, this burden, this trouble of the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the grief that we are experiencing, if that grief was to be put on the day would become night. Such is the grief which we are experiencing now. Sayyidina Anas radiyallahu ta'ala says that we had just even ma nafadna aydina an turabi Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ankarna qulubana. He says we had just wiped our hands from the tadfeen and the burial of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and already we have found our hearts that they've changed. We found a change in our hearts. That spirituality that was in our hearts, that spirituality had gone. The barakat and the ruhaniyah that we felt in our heart, that ruhaniyah was gone. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's passing away for the Sahaba Kiram radiyallahu ta'ala was not some ordinary incident in the life of the Sahaba Kiram radiyallahu anhum. Rocks and mountains, the like of Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he would say that whosoever says, Man qala anna Muhammadan kad mal la'aqtulanna unukahu. He says that, or la'adribanna unukahu. Whosoever says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has passed away, then I will strike his neck and I will sever his head from his body. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has not passed away. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has just gone the same way Musa had gone to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's going to return. And when Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu had said this and made this i'lan, nobody dared to say anything. Nobody dared to say anything. The Sahaba Kiram radiallahu anhu were in Masjid al-Nabawi. They were all completely shocked. They didn't know what to do. They were completely shocked. They didn't know what to do. It so happened that Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu was even present at that moment. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu had taken the leadership of the salat in the absence of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam performed his final salat, Salatul Maghrib, on the night of Friday, in which he recited Suratul Mursalat. Thereafter Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not return for any other salat. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the very first salat of Isha, he fell into unconsciousness. He gained consciousness. Thereafter he instructed those that were around him, Muru Abu Bakr falyusalli bin nas. Tell Abu Bakr to lead the people in salah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam once again fell into a state of unconsciousness. Once again he gained consciousness and he said, Nas, have the people performed their salat or not? They said, no, they're all waiting for you. Muru Abu Bakr falyusalli bin nas. Tell Abu Bakr so that he leads the people in salat. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once again fall into the state of unconsciousness. Once again he gained consciousness and he asked, have they performed salat or not? Tell Abu Bakr to lead the people in salat. Sayyidina Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha says that I said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that Abu Bakr is rajulun bakka. He is one who is very soft-hearted. He will not be able to stand in your position. Tell Umar to stand in your position. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam reprimanded him, and he says that you are like the women of Yusuf alayhi salatu wassalam. The women at the time of Zulaykha, the friends of Zulaykha, they were also saying something which they did not intend. Similarly, you are saying to me that you don't want Abu Bakr on the musalla because he is so soft-hearted, but I know your true intention. Your true intention is that you don't want him to go on the musalla in case there is an uproar, that how can somebody come on the musalla of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You don't want your father to be on the back of that and gain the brunt of that. I'm telling you, tell Abu Bakr to lead the people in salat. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu came on the musalla, and Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu performed the salat. He performed the Isha of that day, he performed the 5 salats of the next day, Saturday, and he performed the 5 salat of the following day on the Sunday, and thereafter Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu performed the Fajr salat. And the Fajr salat, Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam felt a bit better. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam came towards the door of his house. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam moved the veil which was covering the door. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam peered at the Sahaba kiram radiyallahu ta'ala anhum into the masjid. He glanced at the Sahaba kiram radiyallahu ta'ala anhum that they are all there, all my Sahaba performing their Fajr salat behind Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And he felt happy, he felt at ease. So Alhamdulillah, that mission which I have come for, that mission I have seen is accomplished. And the Sahaba kiram radiyallahu anhum say that we were there performing our salat. So obviously those that have been to Masjid al-Nabawi, they know that the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is situated right at the front. And the mimbar of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the mihrab of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a bit further there at the front, a little bit away from the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Sahaba kiram radiyallahu anhu were there. So he says we could see from the corner of our eyes that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had come there, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is now glancing into the masjid. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is glancing into the masjid, and therefore they saw that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is feeling much better now. And this got so happy that the Sahaba kiram radiyallahu anhu say that we felt that we were going to break our namaz out of the happiness that we saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the corner. So nevertheless, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam returned back into the house. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, when he realized that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is feeling a little bit better, so he thought to himself that let me go visit my family which is outside Medina Munawwara. So he had another wife which was outside Medina Munawwara. So he thought, let me go there, visit her, because I haven't been there for a number of days because of the situation of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, my imamat, etc. and duties. So he was unable to go there. So he thought, let me go there because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is feeling better. So whilst he was there, he got the news that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has passed away. He immediately, as soon as the person came, he realized from his face, and he says, has Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away? That person replied, yes. He immediately came back. He came back to Masjid al-Nabawi. He came back to Masjid al-Nabawi, and Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was on the mimbar. He swore in front of him. And he says, who dares to say that Rasulullah has passed away? Who dares to say Rasulullah has passed away? I'm going to strike his neck. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu came and tried to calm him down. Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhu was very overcome by emotions at that time. So he did not even pay any attention to Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu moved away, and he stood over there. Now Abu Bakr is on one side, Umar is on the other side. The crowd automatically flocked towards Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. And then he gave his famous speech, and he says that Man kana ya'budu Muhammadan fa inna Muhammadan kad mat, wa man kana ya'budu Allah fa inna Allah hayyun la yamut. And thereafter he recited the verses of the Quran Kareem. وَمَا كَانَ مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ أَفَإِنْ مَاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ انْقَلَبْتُمْ عَلَىٰ عَقَابِكُمْ. He says, whosoever used to worship Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then let it be known that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has passed away. But whosoever used to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let he know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still living. He is there still to be worshipped. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is nothing but a Rasul. Many Anbiya have come before him, and all the Anbiya have gone. In the same way, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has come. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has completed his mission. He's now gone and he's left this world. He has departed. This was the condition of the Sahaba kiram radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, overcome by emotions. So nevertheless, I was mentioning that once after this, just a few days after this, Sayyidina Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was sitting there. Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhu passed by. And Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu passed by, and he said salam to Sayyidina Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Sayyidina Uthman radiyallahu anhu didn't reply to him. He didn't reply to him. Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhu carried on, and he was quite upset at this. He went to Abu Bakr, and he said to Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu, Abu Bakr, look what's happened to us. Even Uthman is not replying to my salam. Even Uthman is not replying to my salam. So, Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu called Uthman radiallahu anhu and said, Abu Uthman, Umar is saying that you're not replying to his salam. So he says, what do you mean? I don't understand. I say, he said salam to you whilst you were sitting there in the masjid and you didn't reply to his salam. Sayyidina Uthman radiallahu anhu says that I was in contemplation and thought and grieved at the loss of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I did not even hear his salam. If I didn't hear his salam, how can I reply to him? So there was a misconception there, and this misconception was clarified, and that was it. If this was our situation, what would it be? I said salam to him, he didn't even say salam to me. And we'll tell another person, we'll tell another person, and now we start causing this rift. And there was just a confusion, as I said, nothing, no big deal. He didn't even hear you. But unfortunately, shaitan is there, ready, praying at our weakness so that he can cause a dispute amongst us, because this is what shaitan wants. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that inna shaitan qad yaysa an yu'bad fi jazirat al-Arab. That shaitan has become despondent at the fact that now people will worship him, and the believers will turn murtad and will start worshipping shaitan and will go back to polytheism. وَلَكِنْ تَحْرِيشَ بَيْنَهُمْ. But shaitan has full hope in causing disputes and arguments amongst yourselves. This is what shaitan likes. And this is what shaitan wants. Shaitan wants disputes and arguments. So shaitan looks for these moments, for small little petty things. And he makes this small little petty thing into such big incidents. Then these big incidents then cause into disputes, arguments, fights, and unfortunately ties being completely broken and damaged. Bridges being burnt, not just broken, being burnt to such a degree that they cannot be repaired again. They cannot be repaired again. Whether it's between family members, whether it's between other individuals, shaitan does not leave no stone unturned. Between parents and children, between brothers, siblings, sisters, whatever it may be, whether it's cousins, whether it's relatives, whether it's uncles, whether it's friends, shaitan is always waiting for that moment. And then we fall prey to his snares and traps, and unfortunately we cannot overlook small little things. The relationship and the bond which has been there for so many years, rather which has been there from eternity and will still remain there, because this is sometimes the rahim and the relationship is the divine relationship which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put. Khalaqtur rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself says that I have created a relationship of this, the relationship between family members, and this will remain forever and ever. This will remain even in Jannah as well. And unfortunately this bond of family is broken and is never brought back together again. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, Sayyidina Muhammad al-Baqir rahimahullah ta'ala would say, he says that he would advise his son that never sit with a person who breaks ties with his family members. Never sit with a person who breaks ties with his family members, because in the Quran I have seen in 3 places the la'nat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon this individual. The la'nat and the curse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends and comes down on an individual who breaks ties with his family members. And we cannot overlook it. That he's my brother, it's my sister, it's my father, it's my mother, it's my uncle, it's my auntie, it's my cousin brother, it's my nephew, it's my niece. No, you don't know what he's done to it. What did he do to it? It's nothing. It was trivial, minor issue. Sit down, clear up the air, move on. The life is too short to sit on things like this. Life is too short to sit on things like this. We say, no, I can't forgive him. I can't forgive him. I can't forgive him. How can I forgive him? I will see on the day of Qiyamah what will happen. I'll take justice on the day of Qiyamah. My respected Hazrat mentions the statement of his father that the day of Qiyamah, the reality is that we will probably have to give more than take. Our lives are such that instead of taking on the day of Qiyamah, we think that I will get from this person, he's done my ghibah, this person harmed me, this person harmed me, this person harmed me. and we think that we're going to get so much. Have we not done any wrong on other individuals? Have we not violated rights of other individuals? On the day of Qiyamah, we'll probably have to give more than take. We'll have to give more than take. Let us understand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we forgive, Allah will forgive us. أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ. I wanted to mention a particular hadith. Time does not permit. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll go through this hadith. Look at the jazba and the zeal that the Sahaba Kiram radiyallahu anhum, our pious Salafus Salihin, had for forgiving. This is what I was saying. Now look at the qualities that the Salaf had. One quality was that how much they would forgive. The things that they had to endure but overlook this and that they would forgive, we cannot even imagine. When we, inshallah, we'll continue this topic tomorrow. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to understand these qualities, to understand the importance of these qualities, to overlook mistakes. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes, he makes mistakes. The person who makes mistakes should understand that if I can make mistakes, others make mistakes. If I wish to be forgiven, then I should also forgive the person in front of me. I should also forgive the person in front of me. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. And one of amongst the different interpretations which the muhaddithun given, one of them is this, that deal with others the way you wish that people deal with you. If you wish to be forgiven, then forgive others as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive each and every one of us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a zeal to forgive others as well. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله تعالى خير خلق محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة المتقين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله النبي الأمي الكريم. اللهم لك الحمد حمدا دائما ولك الشكر شكرا دائما. اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. اللهم لك الحمد كالذي تقول خيرا مما نقول. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram Akramin, Ya Dhal Jalali wal Ikram, Ya Allah, you are the most merciful, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, you are the most kind, Ya Allah, you are the most gracious, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram Akramin, we are sinful, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, we are weak, we are feeble, Ya Allah. In this month of Ramadan, Ya Allah, we cannot abstain from sin, Ya Allah. We cannot control our tongue, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, we cannot control our nafs, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, in this month of Ramadan, Ya Allah, we cannot look after our time, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram Al-Akramin, we are so weak, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, that you are so merciful, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, if we did not have hope in your mercy, Ya Allah, we wouldn't be sitting here today, Ya Allah. We wouldn't be asking you to forgive us, Ya Allah, because we have sinned so much, Ya Allah, that, Ya Allah, if we had sinned so much for anybody else, Ya Allah, if we would have violated the rights of anybody else in this manner, Ya Allah, we will not be able to even show them our face, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram Al-Akramin, we know that despite us going against your command, if we turn to you with sincerity once and we come knocking at your door, Ya Allah, you will fling your doors open, Ya Allah, and you will envelop us in your mercy, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, with this hope, Ya Allah, we are gathered here today. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, shower us with your mercy, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, हम सबको मुआफ़ फरमा दे, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, मुआफ़ फरमा दे, Ya Allah. आपकी मग़फ़िरत की उम्मीद लेकर आए हैं, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. हमारे गुनाहों पर नज़र नहीं है, हमारी कमज़ोरियों पर नज़र नहीं है, आपके शान करीमी पर नज़र है, Ya Allah. You are Kareem, Ya Allah. Kareem is that being who gives to that who doesn't deserve, Ya Allah. We are not deserving of your forgiveness. We are not deserving of your mercy, Ya Allah, but we have no choice but to ask you, Ya Allah. We have nobody but you, Ya Allah. You are the only deity, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we have no Lord besides you. We have no cherisher besides you. We have no ma'bud besides you. We have no khaliq and creator besides you. Ya Allah, you are our creator. You are our sustainer, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we are here, Ya Allah, as your servants, as your slaves, Ya Allah. Forgive each and every one of us. Have mercy upon the ummah, Ya Allah. The ummah is crying, Ya Allah. The ummah is hurt, Ya Allah. The ummah is drowning, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Akram Al-Akramin, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, safeguard this ummah, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, take the ship of this ummah to the shore, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, stabilize this ummah, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimin, grant the blanket this ummah, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, open up all the difficulties of this ummah, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, open up the doors of your nusrah, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, stop the oppression, Ya Allah. Stop the oppression, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahim, stop the oppression, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, you take care of the oppressors, Ya Allah. Allahumma kfinahum bima shi'ta wa kayfa shi'ta. Wasrif anna kaydahum wa sharrahum wa makrahum bima shi'ta wa kayfa shi'ta. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, you take care of them, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, for you, Ya Allah, this child's play, Ya Allah. It's nothing for you, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, you take care of them, Ya Allah. They were more powerful than them, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, who you destroyed, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, the others have come, Ya Allah, who were more stronger than them, who were more wealthier than them, who were more powerful than them, Ya Allah. You took care of them, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, Ya Akram al-Akrameen, we have nobody but you. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, Ya Akram al-Akrameen, with your might, with your power, Ya Allah, you take care of them. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, alleviate all the difficulties from the ummah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, those that are ill, Ya Allah, grant them good health. Those that have passed away, Ya Allah, elevate their status. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, those that are in, Ya Rahman Rahimeen, debt, Ya Allah, remove their debts. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, those that are in difficulty, remove their difficulties. Those that are looking for a home, Ya Allah, grant them a good home, Ya Allah. Wa Rahman Rahimeen, those who are looking for a spouse, Ya Allah, give them a good pious spouse, Ya Allah. Those that want children, Ya Allah, grant them pious children. Those who are in trouble and difficulty because of their children, Ya Allah, grant them coolness of the eyes, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, fulfill their needs and their aspirations for their children, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimeen, fulfill our need of the madrasa, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahim, make this masjid and madrasa a markaz of hidayah and a center of hidayah, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimeen, accept each and every one of us, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimeen, grant us love, mahabba, harmony, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, unity. Wa Arhamar Rahimeen, remove all forms of, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, enmity and hatred, Ya Allah. Wa Arhamar Rahimeen, grant us all the goodnesses of this world and the hereafter, Ya Allah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم لك صمت وبك آمنت وعليك توكلت وعلى رزقك أفطرت.
The time of iftar is a time when du'as are accepted. The muhaddithun state that whilst making iftar, meaning what we're doing right now, even this is when du'as are accepted. So whilst we are making our iftar, continue to make du'a even in your mind, with the tongue in between each sip or each morsel. Continue to make du'a as well.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا